Coming up on today's show, we're going to look over the latest Browns draft rumors as they have had already a couple of pre-draft visits. So we're going to dive into all of that. But first, on Monday, I think it was, we brought back the comment challenge to see who could comment the most on a video. And MXS, shout out to you and your 270 comments. Zach Schaefer not far behind, 108. Julian with 99 and Devlin's World with 95. So appreciate everyone who took part in the comment challenge, but here are your gold, silver, medal, and just right off the podium in Devlin's World. Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. On today's show, we're going to talk about the latest draft meetings that the Browns have had or are going to have, depending on when you're watching this and when the meetings happen. And then some rumors sort of spinning out of those draft meetings, specifically on one player. So let's start with this from Josina Anderson, who tweeted out, the Browns hosted wide receiver Dell from Houston today and are expected to host wide receiver Jalin Hyatt on Tuesday per league sources. So we've got some interesting draft rumors here because, hold up, wait a minute, there's a very good chance something ain't right. Jalin Hyatt is not going to be on the board at pick 74. So why are the Browns bringing in Jalin Hyatt, who I don't say 100% because the draft's never a guarantee outside of like 10 to 15 players, but he's not going to fall to 74. He gets a little bit of round one buzz, but he is firmly in round two, definitely not mid-round three. So I have two theories. The first theory is the Browns want to see if he is worth trading up for. That theory probably makes more sense than theory number two, which is Jimmy Haslam just told Andrew Berry, you got 30 visits. Can you use one of them on Jalin Hyatt just so I can throw the football to him and hang out because I'm the owner and I want to bring in my Tennessee Volunteer player who was the best wide receiver in football last year. So maybe number two sort of helps number one because Jimmy Haslam's like, I want you to bring Hyatt in. I know he won't be there at 74, but I want you to see what I watched all of last season so you can fall in love with him and move up to get him. Because when we look at Cleveland's 2023 draft picks, I mean, he's not falling to 74. Now, what maybe you could do is this. Take pick 74 and pick 98. Your two third-round picks, if you combine them in a draft adding up calculator service out there, that gets you around pick 55. So I think it'll probably cost you a little bit more, but maybe if the Browns fall in love with Jalin Hyatt or someone else, they go, screw quantity, let's get quality, right? Let's move our 2/3 and like a 6 or something, get back into round two and land number 11, who had 15 touchdowns last year, 5 of which came against Alabama. Never easy to score against Nick Saban, let alone 5 times by just one player. I also think about how the Browns, they accomplished everything they sought out to do for 2023 in free agency, right? They kind of go into the draft sort of playing with house money. Do they need a wide receiver? Not really. They traded for Elijah Moore. Okay. Do they need a defensive tackle? Not really. They signed Dalvin Tomlinson. Okay, then they need a safety. No, they got Juan Thornhill. So they've already kind of accomplished everything they needed to do. So maybe then they look at the draft as an opportunity to not try and fill a bunch of holes, but instead go for quality over quantity. Bundle some picks. Move earlier. Get players they think have higher shots of being good rather than spreading their chips on a bunch of players. So I want to hear from everyone watching right now. Should the Browns trade up? Do you think they should be giving up some of their 8 draft picks to get back into round 2? And instead of picking 8 players, maybe they pick 5, right? Maybe they pick 6, but one of them being a round 2 player. Let me know from everyone watching down in the comment section. I think if the Browns believe that Hyatt is him, right? If Hyatt is the number 1, 2, 3 receiver in this draft class, which, I mean, go look at some previous drafts. just because you got taken round 2, I mean, talk to Devontae Adams, does not mean you are a bottom 5 or not a top 5 receiver in this draft class here. So if the Browns believe that Jalin Hyatt, or if Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski believe, yeah, he's the number 1 receiver in this draft class, then go for it, right? Because it might not be a big need right now, but Amari Cooper's not going to be around forever. Elijah Moore has 2 years left on his contract. You're going to extend DPJ, but I'm all for a best player available. Now, if you're doing it just because you're thinking, oh, well, we don't need to have 8 picks in this draft, so let's just trade up for the sake of trading up, then I'm going to push back on that. And here's why. Look at the Browns 2024 draft picks. If you're trading up, or if you're just trading for the sake of trading, maybe you should be trading back, actually, right? Maybe you should look ahead a little bit and go, we only have a second and a third through the first 4 rounds of next year's draft. Maybe we should be getting an extra second or third for next year by moving back a little bit here, right? Likely won't be a second, but maybe you pick up a third and a fourth. So without a first, you still feel like you have ammunition for 2024, where I can guarantee you this much, it won't be that big of a free agency pool for Cleveland next year with all the spending they did this year, and you will be more reliant on the draft, where you'll go into it going, we still have big needs and big holes to fill, and we need those holes to be filled, that's what she said, through the draft. Now, next up on the show, speaking of wide receivers, could Cleveland be looking at another wide receiver? We're going to talk about the Houston Cougar in just a brief moment, but I want to quickly update everyone on this week's sub battle with our Saints and Bengals channel here at Chat Sports. We are not in the lead. We are unfortunately 4 subs off the Bengals channel. Doesn't even have a full-time host here at Chat Sports, and they've gotten more subs than us this week. Come on, hit that sub button, and let's beat the Saints and Bengals in subscribers within the walls of Chat Sports. So now, talking about Nathaniel Dell, or better known as Tank Dell. The Browns are bringing him in for one of their top 30 pre-draft visits. His combine measurements, I mean, not glorious. 5'8", 165 pounds. He definitely could add a few pounds to build up his frame a little bit. NFL.com gave him an NFL player comp as Darnell Mooney, which I think is pretty accurate. And if that's the case, man, that'd be a pretty nice addition for this Browns room. Now, in his career, specifically at Houston, 3,155 yards and 32 touchdowns. 32 touchdowns in 35 games. That is crazy productive. He took off at Houston after bouncing around a little bit at the JUCO level. Now, Tank Dell, he is a very explosive player who has big playmaking possibilities and potential every time he steps on the field. The issue is, if you're very reliant on the boom plays and you get to the NFL and you discover, wow, NFL corners are a bit faster than AAC corners, you could be in for a world of trouble when you can't just run past everyone. He's not just a burner, though. I don't want you to take this video away and think, oh, Tank Dell's a track star. No, he is a very smooth, silky route runner, and he just has a knack for turning on the jets and all of a sudden just leaving you in the dust without having like crazy elite speed. Now, when you look at this wide receiver room, again, I kind of go back to what I said about Jalin Hyatt. Is it good right now? Yes. Like, I'm not crazy about Marquise Goodwin, but I also know this much. He won't be here in 2024. So if you're looking for the future, you kind of need to find your new wide receiver one moving forward. And if you think that could be Tank Dell or Jalin Hyatt, yeah, they might not have a huge role this year, but they could step into a big role next year if you decide, you know what, Amari Cooper had a bit of a down year. We need to save some money. We can cut him. We're not re-signing Marquise Goodwin. So all of a sudden, hey, Jalin Hyatt or Tank Dell, we're really glad we had you last year, so you're not going to be a rookie wide receiver this year, or we're not looking for a rookie wide receiver in 2024 to take on a big role in this offense. So let me know, should the Browns draft a wide receiver? Type D for draft or P for pass. Some other draft visits to talk about here. Ian Rapoport tweeting out the Cowboys will host at least 2 prospects on pre-draft visits tomorrow, with Clemson linebacker Trenton Simpson, and Tennessee wide receiver Jalin Hyatt coming to visit. Sources say Simpson has the Browns after that. Okay, so Trenton Simpson from Clemson. Shout out to the Brown Tiger right now. Last season for them, 72 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. A really versatile linebacker who doesn't just get pigeonholed into, oh, he can only stop the run, or he's only good in coverage. No, he kind of spreads himself a little thin across the board. Similar to the wide receiver conversation, you've got JOK for the foreseeable future-ish as he enters the third of 4 years on his contract. But Walker, Taki, 1-year deals. Phillips will be a free agent after this season. Like, you got to start thinking ahead a little bit here. And I'm not in the camp of rely on a rookie class in 2024 to have big expectations when you're not drafting in round 1, right? To have big roles on this team because you didn't plan ahead and you didn't get their replacements now. So one more pre-draft visit to hit on here from Rap Sheet. Houston quarterback Clayton will be visiting the Saints tomorrow and the Browns later this week, source said. And he has upcoming visits and or workouts with the Giants, Steelers, who gives a shit. But the Browns, okay, so we're talking about a quarterback? What are we doing here? Listen, all 32 teams should either draft a quarterback at the minimum. Now, unless you're like the Chiefs and you only have like 4 or 5 draft picks, even like if you're the Chiefs and you have 8 picks, your 7th rounder should be a quarterback. Why? Because it's the most important position in all of sports. And even if you're not drafting one to be a starter, it's worth taking a flyer on a guy to have a great backup. So if something like Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo happens, you could have the next Brock Purdy on your bench, right? So I've got no issue with the Browns having a visit with a quarterback to discover, hey, we know Deshaun Watson is our guy, but we need to be prepared. And if, God forbid, we lose Watson for a stretch of the season, we don't want to be a team that has their season go down the toilet because we didn't have a comparable backup or even a third string if something were to happen to the backup. It's just that important of a position in the NFL. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit me up on Twitter, by the way, at MatthewPD. If you like today's video, if you want to give me your thoughts or your takes on it, DMs are always open, or you can tweet at me. So hit me up over on the Bird app.